I don't know about you, but I can't help but feel overwhelmed and powerless in the face of the obvious upheavals that are apparent in our near future, be they economic, social, or environmental. The question is less if it will happen, and more of how and when. The required changes appear too fundamental, the existing power structures too entrenched, for an individual to appear to be able to affect anything by themselves. Many movements have aims, but no clear or practical means given to improve our current reality. So, how to take the first step forward? If change is impossible from the top down, we need to work from the ground up. Step 1. Firstly, I see no alternative but to stop focusing on tearing anything down and focus on building on what we have. The first step is something that can be done by any individual and in any community the world over. The gradual return of the commons, or a type of third place, if you will. Community-held resources and land whose use and regulation is decided upon democratically by the local community. One of the last remaining modern bastions of this idea, in many places being the public library. But nowadays this can also be extended into the digital world, where open source programs, freeware, and freely available information created voluntarily by talented individuals represent invaluable information sources and digital tools for the masses, a digital commons resource, if you will. Coordinated voluntary work in combination of common-held land is the Achilles heel of the ills of modern society. It can be started anywhere by anyone. Lobby and organize for the expansion of the library system to the library of things, specifically tools and communal work areas and storage. Lobby for the acquisition and use of unused and/or government land and buildings. Create a network of community clubs and associations, community gardens, and common work and storage areas for community resources. Organize and share online over existing platforms, or new ones, regarding efficient use of available resources and administration techniques. There are normally a lot more existing local mechanisms to assist in such activities available to people than they think. They simply have to go and look for it. The wealth of knowledge freely shared by talented individuals is only waiting to be organized, implemented, shared, and refined. This is something with immediate benefits for the participants with tangible results. A community. And this change is gradual enough to be plausible under the current consumerist system. A cultural movement that can snowball into a peaceful revolution due to its own growing momentum. The return of the honor and favor-based currency of our ancestors to live in parallel with our modern impersonal currency. Just like the initial destruction of the commons was gradual and eventually developed an unstoppable momentum of its own, we can start the ball rolling in the other direction. Step 2. The second step is building up a coherent single new culture, instead of only tearing down existing ones. Multiculturalism cannot work as an alternative if core values are not shared. A single culture can contain more surface diversity within its ranks if core tenets such as respect, equality, and morality for all are shared and mutually accepted. These are non-negotiable for a community system based on universal and not clan-based democracy, honor, favor, trust, and conceptualization of commonly held property, rights and responsibilities, and the abandonment of religious and genetic nepotism. The key is to focus on building anew. As the depth of our values lies in our religious past, a spiritual core tenet can be useful in conceptualizing a new base framework that expresses these core values while allowing diversity. See my link below for more details. Though I have not come up with a term yet to describe this spiritual tenet, a possible suitable name for the new culture itself has, I believe, mostly already presented itself. Solarpunk. The surface diversity comes with the adherence of this culture. So, for example, Jewish solarpunk, Muslim solarpunk, or for a more cultural specific point of view, such as Nigerian solarpunk or Finnish solarpunk, to name only a few. Here we identify the mutually agree that the core values are the same, even if the techniques to achieve these core values are different. The one simple fact remains: whatever you call yourself, these core values must be achieved. This must be self-reinforcing, with the benefits of adherence being clear, while non-adherence has clear consequences to safeguard the community from abuse. Step 3. The inherent diversity of human personality will always result in those with undesirable psychological traits seeking out positions of power for their own gain. To capture this human fire and put it to good use before its uncontrolled hunger burns the institutional house down, I would recommend the implementation of a power trade-off system for the inevitably necessary administrative elected positions. For details of this, see my second link below. To avoid selfish people seeking positions of power, we have to make positions of power unattractive for selfish people, something that is simple enough at the start of such community networks, but more difficult as they scale into larger organizational structures. Step 4. Don't forget the past. Though we continuously strive for improvement, this does not mean we should ignore the lessons from the past. We humans are not significantly physically different from our hunter-gatherer ancestors, and therefore each other, with all its benefits and detriments. Our evolution, so to speak, is significantly based on our ability to adapt to new cultural and physical realities. Be mindful of what has worked for our ancestors in the past, and adapt it, never ignore it, because it's survived the rigors of time, a trial our new cultural iterations have yet to master. Additional steps. These are then mostly up to local factors. Normally, non-for-profit community organizations and clubs are free from a lot of the restrictions and limitations posed on businesses. One of the biggest hurdles is attaining access to unused private holdings. Housing, public and private property rights, zoning, permits, regulations, these are all local issues that need to be addressed locally. However, no matter what your local situation, consistent lobbying and peaceful agitation will normally result in gradual concessions. And here lies the key to why this movement will result in the revolution that we all want, because it lays the groundwork for communal administrative and, more importantly, communal cultural institutions that only grow over time. And regardless of how or when calamity strikes the existing system, it will be these new communal institutions that organize the fastest, protect its members the best, and are welcome to new ones, and have the alternative solutions prepared for when the inevitable power vacuum forms. Humans are only temporary, our individual achievements fleeting at best. It is culture and institutions that are our combined legacy for the generations to come. Well, I'm off to see what I can do to help organize and participate in a library of things, communal work areas, gardens, storage and resources, and other commons in my local area. Best of luck with your efforts, and post online of your successes and challenges. Hashtag Return of the Commons. It is always good to hear others' experience. All the best and take care.